Hi everyone, this is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and I can't start today's show without talking about the ISO 10002. You know, some people just love to complain, but companies have a responsibility to care. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, has revised ISO 10002, the standard for complaint handling. This document enables organizations to foster a customer-focused environment open to feedback, heightening their customer satisfaction. You can get the ISO 10002 standard from the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, the U.S. member body of ISO. Visit ANSI.org/complain to learn more. That's ANSI.org/complain to learn more.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews. Welcome to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 12 years now, we've been asking the Franchipreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Kim Musso, and Kim started to notice that everyone in her neighborhood seemed to be a dog owner, which got her wheels turning. And after doing a little research, Kim recognized the endless potential of the booming $70 billion pet industry market. With her son and daughter embodying her same entrepreneurial spirit, Kim and her family decided to embark on a new family venture and open up a Dogtopia franchise. We're going to talk to Kim about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we have a great show.
Are you one of those special people who are willing to go after your dreams and goals? Are you ready to fulfill that dream of owning your own business with the security of a proven brand? The opportunity to take control of your future and own a Rita's Italian Ice franchise is within your reach.
Rita's is seeking success-oriented individuals who are ready to make a change in their life, and Rita's offers unparalleled training and support to assure your success. And did you know the frozen treat industry is a recession-proof industry, and there are Rita's in 23 states currently with 540 stores open. Rita's Italian Ice has been around for 25 years and is listed as a top-performing franchise by the Wall Street Journal.
Now here's the really good part. Rita's Italian Ice is a unique and amazing taste treat. It's smoother than a snow cone, and it combines ice with real fresh fruit. The real fruit adds dramatically to the taste, and it comes in over 40 flavors. The ice and fruit are mixed on site and made fresh daily, and it is delicious.
You'll want to know more about this exciting and successful franchise opportunity. Go to www.ownaritas.com and get all your questions answered. That's www.ownaritas.com to take control of your dreams and future today. You don't want to wait any longer to be a part of this adventure. www.ownaritas.com.
Hi, this is Connie McDermott, Administrative Assistant for Franchise Interviews, LLC, and you're listening to Franchise Interviews.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 12 years now, we've been asking the Franchipreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Kim Musso, and Kim started to notice that everyone in her neighborhood seemed to be a dog owner, which got her wheels turning. And after doing a little research, Kim recognized the endless potential of the booming $70 billion pet industry. And with her son and daughter embodying her same entrepreneurial spirit, Kim and her family decided to embark on a new family venture and open up a Dogtopia. Hi, Kim. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning, Marty, and thanks for having me.
This is my pleasure, Kim. We always like to ask our guests, where are you calling from this morning, Kim?
Alpharetta, Georgia, a northern suburb of Atlanta.
Beautiful. I've been to Alpharetta. How's the weather there today, Kim?
Well, it's about 34 here, so for being
cold.
in the South, we're cold. Yeah, it's cold. How about for you guys? I bet this is nothing compared for you.
Well, it's funny. I think we're about 25 degrees today, we're expecting some snow, but I guess you feel it a little bit more when it's 30 degrees in Georgia, don't you?
We do, definitely.
That's great. Well, I was reading about your story, Kim, and I was really inspired. And I said, I have to have you on this show because I really think it's a wonderful example of recognizing a need in the market, and that you really took action. Maybe you could talk to our listeners about, what is Dogtopia, and maybe how you came across the brand.
Sure. So Dogtopia is an open play dog daycare center focused on play, safe socialization, and education for dogs. And we also offer a formal training and spa grooming service at Dogtopia. And how I came across the brand was lots of research online. While researching a number of dog daycare franchise brands, I came across Dogtopia, and I reviewed press releases, articles, reviews, websites. I looked up the backgrounds of their franchise owners just to find those similarities of myself and my husband, my family, and kind of what we wanted to do moving forward as a family. And through this, I was able to get a pretty good feel for their brand. They offered a really clean, bright, modern facility coupled with strong brand recognition in the markets that they served. And so their brand really catered to that female millennial, which is the largest demographic and pet owner group to date for those pet parents. And in our research, we spoke with different franchise brands, and Dogtopia's philosophy about pets and their vision for the company aligned with our values. I loved that beyond the doggy daycare business model, they were also committed to giving back to the community through the Dogtopia Foundation, which is a foundation that they created to support returning veterans, children's literacy, and adults with autism using pets as a vehicle for support.
Wow.
We flew to Phoenix to meet with the Dogtopia team, and their passion and commitment to pets, pet parents, and their franchise owners exuded from each person that we met with, along with strong business systems and a business model. And by lunchtime, we knew we wanted to be Dogtopia franchise owners if they were going to have it.
That's great.
We have 5 grown children who are all of the millennial and Generation X generation. They love their dogs and speak and think of them as though they were their children. They actually refer to them as our grandchildren. They spend a lot of money on dog clothes, pet portraits, pet care if we're not available. And also as empty nesters, we just got 2 puppies. So we now have 3 dogs. And the demand for quality pet care has never been greater. We felt like as we began to consider business opportunities, we knew that we wanted to do something impactful. We wanted to offer a service that would make a difference while providing customers with peace of mind, something that would align with our current business values, both personally and professionally. And as you said, this is a family venture for us, so we're really excited about it.
What's it like for you, Kim? It's interesting. I've been doing the show, 12 years now, and I can't say that I've had really a case like yours where it seems like you have the whole family involved in the process, and that must be a wonderful experience for you, I imagine.
It is. We're very excited to bring our children on board with us and be able to groom them, not only in learning understanding, I should say, how to own a business, because nobody can teach you how to own a business.
Of course.
But helping them to learn that and then to be able to turn our business over to them at some point and allow them to continue growing that business. And, my husband and I are baby boomers, and they are more of that millennial and Gen X mindset. And I'm excited to bring them in and couple those 2 generations and create a family business.
I understand too, Kim, that you do own a Primrose School in Alpharetta, Georgia. And one of my questions is, how did that prepare you to open up a dog care facility? And another question is, what do you like about franchising? It's obviously something that draws you to franchising. You have this appreciation of franchising. Maybe you could talk about those things.
Sure. So I come from a franchise background.
Yeah.
I actually, the company, the Primrose that I own, I actually sold franchises for them for a long time. And
Wow.
Then I believed in it so much that we ended up acquiring our own school. And I think that, in franchising, you've got to be willing to follow the systems. I think it's important that you follow those systems and diligently. And, why it's okay to be in business for yourself, but why be in business by yourself?
Right.
And when you buy into a franchise system, it's embrace it. Follow their systems. Don't deviate from it. There's a reason why you buy into a franchise system. Obviously, that particular one that you've chosen has been successful, and you got to remember that. And I always said, follow the systems for that first year. Don't deviate. If you think that you've got a better idea of how to do something, then go to them, talk to them. I think franchise owners bring a lot of great ideas to the table. So that's what I love about franchising. You've got the support that you need. There's no reason to go out there and reinvent the wheel or start over again. And buy into that success. And I think what
that's great.
Owning a business for us, there was a lot of good synergies in owning our current business, which is a private preschool, and then also doggy daycare. Owning a business that provides a service to a group of people who give you their most prized possession each day is a privilege. And understanding the weight of that responsibility and delivering what you promise to parents, whether it be children or pets, is the key to the success of the business. And I think for us, it's exciting to take what we have been successful at and to be able to duplicate this with family pets in our community.
That's terrific. We've had both franchises on our show, Kim, over the last decade. We've had Primrose and we've had Dogtopia, and both very strong brand names and both strong systems. I remember interviewing both of them, and I was very impressed with, both franchise systems. So I think that's fantastic. Maybe you could talk a little bit about, this crossover, Kim, between like owning a child care franchise and then owning a pet care franchise. I'm sure there's some similarities, right? And then I guess there's some subtle differences as well, isn't there?
Sure. As I said, the synergies in this business are really uncanny. Dogs are a member of a family, just like children. Pet parents want their dogs to be happy, just like parents want their children to be happy. They want to know that they are being cared for in a safe and loving environment. Understanding the reasons why pet parents are looking for doggy daycare and fulfilling those needs are important. There is parent guilt about pets being cooped up at home inside all day. And, with Dogtopia, then they can be outside. They can socialize and play with other dogs and people. So there's a lot of similarities in what parents are looking for, whether it be their pets or their children. I want to say there's a difference, but I don't see a difference, at least in my eyes.
Sure.
I think they're as important to parents, and they'll be as important to us.
Exactly. I grew up with dogs my whole life, Kim, and the pet has always been a member of the family. It wasn't always that way, right? I guess, there was a time where, I remember, where sometimes you'd see a lot of times a dog in a backyard with a dog house or something. I'm going way back, like 30, 40 years, But it is interesting how the pet has elevated in society, and you see people with their pets all the time, and what impresses me the most about, the pet industry is I think the numbers, I think I quoted it in the beginning, it's up to was it 60 billion or 70 billion, something in that area. I mean, it's and it just seems to keep growing.
It is. It's crazy. You're right. I think it's the generation that is bringing this to life. Again, as mentioned early on, we've got this millennial mom and dad who are they don't have children yet, but their pets are their children, and they're willing to invest in them and to spend that money to make sure that their pets are taken care of. And they really do look at them as children.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree. I agree. It was interesting when you were talking in the beginning, Kim, you were saying how, you did a lot of research, and that's been one of the themes on the show over the last decade, as we always say, do your homework, do your research. And you certainly did that. Why did you feel that Dogtopia would be a good fit for your particular area, for the Alpharetta community?
Well, Alpharetta was just ranked in Money Magazine as one of the top 25 communities to live in. It's a fun community of people who really place a strong emphasis on family.
Right.
We are opening our facility in a new live, work, and play community in Forsyth County called Halcyon, and I love the idea of bringing the first Dogtopia to Georgia. I am over the top excited about bringing a fresh new brand to the community that offers pets a state-of-the-art facility and provides an experience to both pets and pet parents that is defined and influenced by trust. And everywhere you go in Alpharetta, there's walking trails, there's families out and about. They all have their pets either in the car or next to them. They're just very family-focused. And so we're excited about it.
That's terrific. What was what is the training like for new franchisees, Kim? Do they go out to the Dogtopia headquarters? How does that work, and what is that like?
We do. So they have what's called university, and that's a full week of training. And then they have MBA, so there's like a second portion of that before you open your facility. So they, franchise owners will receive 30 days of initial training, which includes, again, those 2 weeks of classroom training and then 2 weeks of in-store training. They will actually go out to one of the centers and spend a week at one center and a week at another center just to see maybe some of the differences that we can embrace from those two centers. And they also have extensive online training portals for not only the franchise owners but new staff, as well as Dogtopia hosts monthly webinars, regional workshops, and we have an annual conference. You're also assigned an operations manager who's with you every step of the journey and has, regular check-ins and, I want to ensure you're successful.
Sure, absolutely. It's so important. When I have someone like yourself on the show, Kim, I always like to ask the question, because the majority of our listeners, we call them aspiring entrepreneurs, and most of them, from our research, they're kind of like first time getting into franchising for the first time. So a lot of them don't know where to begin. Where you had this great experience, so you knew what to look for. Research was important for you, and values were important to you. What advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise? Because as you know, there's a lot out there today, isn't there?
Oh my gosh, so many, and so many different avenues that you can take. So I think my first bit of advice was to be passionate about whatever it is that you buy into. Right. Obviously, the money's important, but don't buy into something just for the money, because you'll quickly find that the money's not that important. Peace of mind is. And if you,
of course.
If you're doing something or you're involved in a business that you're passionate about, you'll have hard days, but those days will be less for you, or they won't be as hard, I guess I want to say, when you truly believe in what you're doing. So find a company that's aligned with your personal and business philosophies and goals, and then embrace that company. And as I said, I said early on, follow those systems. Don't deviate from them. There's a reason why you've been successful, why you're buying into this particular company, and make it a good partnership, and buy into those philosophies and that business system and that business model, and you will be successful. And again, if you find a better way to do something, talk to them. Let them know and look at it together. They may actually change the way that they do things too, and let them change it across the board. It might be something good for everybody. Otherwise, they might say no, and if they say no, there's usually a good reason behind it.
Right, exactly. We referenced some great stories over the years, Kim. Those like referencing like McDonald's. I mean, like a lot of McDonald's franchisees bought some of those great ideas to corporate, and they said, would you consider, having a fillet of fish on a Friday, because people weren't eating meat back then on Fridays, and so some of those ideas really turn out to be home runs. Not all of them do, like you said, but, it sounds like in listening to you, because you've mentioned the word, a dozen times already is the system, and of course you have to trust the system, don't you? And obviously you have that, for Dogtopia. You realize that they have a great system. I was interviewing many years ago one of the top franchises it was one of the tax franchises, and he became the number one franchisee to the organization. And so I asked him, my question was to him, I said, well, how did you do that? How did you become the number one franchisee? And his answer was so simple. He said, I just did what they told me to do. And I said, I thought that was really clever. I mean, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? But, the franchise has made the mistakes and they've had their successes. And that's really what it's about, isn't it? It's just following the system, but even more so trusting the system is important, isn't it?
I think that's the key is trust. The key to everything is trust. Trusting in them, which is why you bought into that system in the first place. It's not always going to be an easy road or an easy relationship, but it's how you get through those things together. And that you bought into that system for a reason, and just always keep that in the back of your mind and just follow those systems and trust them.
That's great. And speaking of trust, Kim, how do you plan to establish trust from the pet parents and reassure them of their dog's safety? Because like you said, that is their baby, so it's very important to them. So how do you plan to establish that trust?
So every pet and their pet parent have to have an initial meet and greet at Dogtopia.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure everyone is comfortable in this new environment. So each dog is given a head-to-tail assessment and given a few social tests to make sure that they are happy and comfortable in open play with other dogs. While that evaluation is happening, pet parents are given a tour of the facility and are able to see directly into the playroom through big windows and can watch their pups play all day via webcams as well from the Dogtopia app or Dogtopia website. Dogs are grouped by size and temperament, and all dogs are fully vaccinated and put through the same evaluation to ensure safety in the playroom. So every dog that's there is a member of that Dogtopia facility. So when they come in, we don't do drop-ins. We don't, it's not like that. So they have to all go through this specific evaluation in order to be able to be a part of Dogtopia. So I think that reassures pet parents, and also they have an opportunity, as I said, to tour the facility and to meet the canine coaches that are in those rooms. I recently myself toured a facility, I shouldn't say that. I went to a facility to take my little puppies to, and they wouldn't let me see the facility. They said, we don't do tours beyond this door because the animals get really overly excited when they see people. And I said, okay, I understand that. Is there a better time of the day? And they said, no. They said, we just don't do it at all. You can look on the webcam. And I thought, wow, I want to meet the person that's going to be with my puppy all day.
Of course.
I want to
Absolutely.
see the facility, not just on a picture. So Dogtopia is very transparent. It's a very transparent experience, and I think pet parents are really going to buy into that. They're going to love it.
Yeah, I think that transparency is really so important, Kim. And the dog daycare is really, as we were saying earlier, it's become so popular. Kim, how are you staying ahead of the game and competing with other businesses that are out there? Because as you mentioned, there are other businesses out there. So how do you stay ahead of that curve?
So I really count on Dogtopia to keep me ahead. I am absolutely confident in the franchise business systems and brands that they will continue to keep us fresh and on the cutting edge of our business. And again, it's about communication. If something's happening in our particular market, it's communicating with them and letting them know. And I know that they're going to support us in making sure that we're always staying ahead. And then it's also about the people that we hire in our building. I think people are such one of the most important factors to the success of your business as well. It's important that they are truly passionate about dogs and are aligned with our company philosophy, vision, and culture. I think that will be our greatest differentiator.
That's great. So what are your plans for the future then, Kim? I mean, if you could look into a crystal ball or you and I have another interview like in 5 years, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I think, at this time, we have the rights to own and operate 2 Dogtopia franchises.
Oh, wow.
And we've thought about potentially having more, but we like to start slow and make sure we get really good at what we're doing before we go on to the next one, especially with bringing in our children, and they've got a lot of learning to do too. So I want to make sure everyone gets comfortable. And so I would say that today my big plan is to be recognized as the best and most trusted dog care provider and partner in Alpharetta. That's something that we are committed to achieving. And maybe in 5 or 10 years, I will be sitting back and my children will be operating Dogtopia, and maybe more than 2.
That's true. That's true. Maybe it'll be the grandkids one day too, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's something. That's fantastic. What's the best way for our listeners, Kim, to get more information on your particular franchise of your location or Dogtopia in general as the franchise or the service? Are there any websites that you can plug to help our listeners get more information?
Yeah, go to Dogtopia.com, and there you will find information on the brand, on franchise opportunities. Again, there's a lot of information out there, as you know, on the web, but a lot of really good, valuable information. And my facility is not open yet, or else I would definitely make a plug for it.
Right.
But if you're ever in Alpharetta, I should be open in the fall, and I hope that you'll come by and visit us.
That is terrific. Well, I'm going to invite you back over the next year or so, Kim, as you continue to grow, because I think this is a wonderful story. Again, I've done so many of these interviews, and when I heard your story, I said I had to have you on the show because I just think it's a wonderful story, and it sounds like this is a real exciting time of your life for you and your family, isn't it?
It really is. We are so excited, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of your show today. I really appreciate it.
This has been my pleasure, Kim. And we'll be right back with more franchise interviews. Coming up on segment 2, you're going to hear what every franchipreneur needs to know before buying a franchise. We're going to play a clip from our popular Great Quotes in Franchising podcast right here on Franchise Interviews.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822. Franchisers, are you looking to reach aspiring entrepreneurs looking to buy a franchise? Are you looking to reach a highly educated audience on franchising? For over 8 years, Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship through our website, franchiseinterviews.com, where you can hear and read interviews as well as get tips from some of the most successful sources in franchising. Our weekly franchise radio show where each week you get to hear a new interview with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys, and our podcast, Great Quotes in Franchising. For more information, go to franchiseinterviews.com or call us at 610-905-2919. That's 610-905-2919.
Today's Great Quote in Franchising is being brought to you by
Franchise Teacher.
Would you like to know how to franchise your concept or grow your franchise business?
Meet the experts at Franchise Teacher.
The goal of Franchise Teacher is to teach, coach, consult, and advise. The team of experts at Franchise Teacher will evaluate your business model and present you with a winning business strategy.
Franchise Teacher will help you decide whether or not your concept works and if it's franchisable. Franchise Teacher is proud to have over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors.
Franchise Teacher are developers of over a dozen franchise systems, which include brick and mortar as well as home-based concepts of nearly 3,000 combined franchise locations.
Whether you need to add more units or get more customers, Franchise Teacher can help. We will teach.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn our proven system.
Coach.
Franchise Teacher will help you provide a game plan to succeed.
Consult.
Franchise Teacher will make sure you stay on track.
And advise.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn from our over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation phone consultation. Simply go to franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
That's franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting franchise interviews now almost years, and during that time, we've had some incredible quotes on the show. Today, you're going to get to hear from Carol Mercurio, and she talks about a subject that we talk frequently on the show, which is following the franchise system. She gives a lot of great other advice in addition to aspiring entrepreneurs, but I just thought her advice was fantastic. So here we go with Carol Mercurio, franchise consultant.
It is, because success means different things to different people.
Right.
You know, there are people that could be very happy making $40,000, $50,000 a year, and there's others that would just never tolerate that. So you have to pick the right opportunity. It's going to meet not just your personal goals, but your income potential as well.
You have to like what you're doing, and most of the time that'll turn into making more money. So.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, the truth is that franchising really isn't for everyone. You know, it's, Michael Gerber, you know, one of your guests who is one of my heroes, so to speak. Right. I love his book. I recommend his book all the time. Yeah. And as he says, you know, there's a difference between an entrepreneur and what he calls a technician.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, and we'll go into that if you want to move forward in
Sure, absolutely. We'll go to the next slide, and that's slide 4, Carol says. That's all great, but...
Do you have what it takes? And that's really what this presentation will help people do. When I do this presentation live, it takes about 2 hours, and, you know, there are people at the end of the presentation will run to the front door and can't get out fast enough. They're scared to death. Or you have those folks that just linger on because they really want to learn more and educate themselves to see if this is the right fit for them. But there's a lot to figure out, you know, before you actually can pull the trigger and make that decision. And as you mentioned just previously, the due diligence is imperative. You know, you have to do a good job of figuring that out. You know, is it the right connection personally, and are you connecting with a company that you feel is a comfortable marriage between the two of you?
Absolutely. Right.
And so that's what we're going to do, is help determine if this is, in fact, the right path to explore. And then we can move on to motivation.
Okay.
And, you know, for me, I think motivation is really, really a major component of this whole process.
I agree.
If you're not motivated to do this, don't do it. If somebody tells you should do it for a variety of different reasons, but it's not your own passion,
right,
you probably won't do well at it. And, you know, there's two different types of motivation. There's positive motivation and there's negative motivation. So you have to think of it, is it an inspiration? Are you inspired to do this, or are you desperate to do this? There's a big difference here.
Absolutely.
Are you know, running from something, or you're running towards something?
Right.
And, you know, for me, I work with a lot of folks that have been downsized, and they're in transition in life, and I certainly can relate to it. But they may go to looking at a business because they can't find a job. Or maybe lesser positions are offered to them, less money, less title, or maybe their severance is about to end and they need to make some decision quickly. Bad choice.
Right.
It's not a good reason to buy a business. It's
like a last resort type of decision. So you can quickly determine part of your services is finding out that motivation level pretty early on.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I won't move forward in our consultation until that candidate can tell me what their reason is.
Right.
And it's not just because, you know, I want control over my destiny. Who doesn't? You know, everybody does.
That's true.
They want to make more money. Who wouldn't?
Right, absolutely.
You know, it has to go layers deeper than that, or as I look at it, you know, having a burning desire. Or I'll add to that a little pain. You know, if you can't relate to the pain, then there's no reward at the end.
Absolutely.
And going into business for yourself can be painful. with franchising, of course, it's a little bit easier because you have all the support. But it's still, you're starting a business from scratch.
That's
and you
what
have
Marty
to
and I
really
always
want
talk
it.
about. Right.
I'm sorry?
Right. We always talk about that. That there's no guarantee of success, but if you follow the system, work hard, look at the stats we just went over. I mean, the failure rate's so low, and then with getting the right match, consultation from someone like yourself, and you should be okay.
Well, and it's true, and the systems that are in place with franchising are the major reasons why people gravitate to franchising. But if you're not the personality to follow a system, and you're more of that entrepreneur, as Michael Gerber would say, the best way to describe it is you can't paint the golden arches green.
Right.
It just won't work. Absolutely. Either you follow the system and you'll be successful or not, but most importantly, there has to be a motivation. And everyone's motivation is different. The way I help people see things is if you look down the road, say the next 3-5 years from today, how do you see your life being different, if at all?
Right.
What do you want to accomplish? And for some people, it might be doing things that they've just missed doing, like having the freedom to play golf, or having the money to buy a boat and taking their family on it and being with their family and having that quality time that they just don't have in their current world.
That's interesting. So you consider that positive motivation because that's the whole big picture of success in business, working hard, and then having all that personal stuff on the side.
Oh, yeah. What's the end result look like? What is it that you want to accomplish by being in business for yourself? I mean, what is your burning desire? Where is the pain now? I mean, if you look at your current situation today, I'll have people that I'm working with that are making, well over six-figure incomes, and they...
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising from Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.
This is firefighter Raphael Porriette for Firehouse Subs. Introducing the new spicy Cajun chicken sub. Cajun seasoned grilled chicken breast, zesty cherry peppers, and house-made Cajun mayo. Just $5.55 for a medium. Remember, a portion of every sub you buy helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Limited time only, plus tax. Participating locations. Firehouse Subs will donate a minimum of $1 million in 2019 to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation by donating 0.11% of every purchase.